Oh, I'm sorry. Move out the way.
All right, we're back another Saturday on the Watchdogs here on our Black Media Network. I'm Robert Bryant, and we have with us two great gentlemen. Who are you all?
Julius Hall in attendance.
Crossing Carter, the best to ever do it.
All right. Hey, guys, what do you think of this? I had to bring out the new T-shirt for today's episode, but yeah. This is a shout out because guess what? Monday we qualified. But for our viewers today, we're talking about white privilege, and I'm going to read a definition, guys. But I think we got here because I was riding down the road coming back from Greenville, South Carolina, and I was looking at how Brett Favre thought he was going to use this idea of white privilege to leverage his way out of the foolishness that he created. And then if we look at Donald Trump and how he has over close to 100 indictments and just out here chilling, I ain't never seen a black person get that kind of, leverage. And so let me start with the definition of white privilege that, there's several of them, but this one kind of sums it up and then we'll kind of jump right in. But white privilege is the inherent advantages possessed by a white person on the basis of their race in a society characterized by racial inequality and injustice. This topic is so important, gentlemen, because you look at idiots like Ron DeSantis in Florida, and you look at the idiot Huckabee in Arkansas, who are outlawing CRT, critical race theory, which is not even taught in classes, so that's why they're stupid. But then you have Huckabee, who doesn't even want to have AP African-American classes in Arkansas schools. So I'll shut up, and because I want to get your initial reaction to this idea of white supremacy with the context of that definition being the kind of prefaces of that thought.
Whiteness itself is on attack. That's why it's so disturbed and people are so mad right now. That's just the general premise of it, because especially with that RICO case that's going on in Atlanta, people have come to realizing that it's not the fact that we all know he did wrong. We all know that the corruption was there. It's not the fact that it was somebody that committed corruption. It's the fact that whiteness itself is being taxed and charged right now. They just don't like it.
Well, white privilege has always been a thing in this country. It has not changed. It has not changed, and I don't think it's going to change for some time. What we have to do is to put ourselves in positions to not even think that it affects us, even though it does behind closed doors most times. We have to be able to be united where nothing affects us. We need to have our own banks, our own schools, our own everything, where we would not have to think about what white privilege means in this country. Sooner or later, everything dies out. It might take another 50 to 100 years and we won't be here. At least I hope I'm here another 50. We won't be here, but it might be beneficial to our great grandkids. But with this country and the way that things are changing, it should. I would hope that it's for the better. You know, it's used when it's convenient for those people who want to take advantage of it. And a lot of some people take advantage of it every day. So we have to just, like I say, we have to put ourselves in positions where it doesn't affect us. Why should white privilege affect me? You know, I need to have human privilege. You know, and that's the only privilege that you should have over an animal, because God gave us dominion over the earth, not one race. He gave man dominion. So, you know, that's just my thoughts on it.
Well, you said an interesting thing is why does it affect us, or how does white privilege affect us? Now, you know, one of the things that I think you all know this, but for the viewers, I've worked in this DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion space for years now, and it shows up every day. It shows up because there are advantages. White privilege just says that you have an advantage because of your skin color. So we'll look at it in the banking industry or the lending industry for homes. We know that disproportionately blacks are counted out of getting loans or things like that for homes or businesses when compared against white communities, right? And so it shows up like that. It shows up when you go into a store and you have no intentions of stealing, but you're followed around the store. But white folks don't go. It shows up when people like Donald Trump and Brett Favre get to do what they want to do and manipulate the system they want to. But yet, if you and I tried to do the same thing, we would be placed in jail. As a matter of fact, I put a quote on Facebook yesterday that says, if Donald Trump and Brett Favre don't do jail time, then every single black person that's in jail incarcerated on a nonviolent charge needs to be released. Because what's showing up now in our communities is the fact that if you are born a certain color, which we don't control how we're born, our race and ethnicity aren't controlled by us. But if you're born with a certain skin tone, you automatically come out with an advantage. You start down the street while we start at the style line behind us. It shows up in education. So, Carlton, what are your thoughts about can we even alleviate that, or do you even see that going away?
In a country that wasn't built for us, that continues to show just not for us, how can we truly say that? Because you made the point that we need our own. Julius made a comment earlier saying that we need our own banks, this, that, and the third. And it's been proven throughout history. Places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, as we all know, most people don't know where Central Park currently sits now, the Seneca Village, and also the Black Beach that they took over, which that family actually got back now, which was Sag Harbor, if I'm correct. Don't quote me on that. How do we truly sit there and say that we're going to be a united front against something that we won't even come together most time to unite against? As we know, we have multiple trillions of dollars that we spend each year, and that's our buying power itself. So how do we combat a system that's designed for us to be segregated and be continuously not joined together?
Okay.
What was the question again?
Well, I mean, you can react to that or to what Bernard said. Bernard, not Bernard, to what Carlton said. Or I was just talking about, can we even alleviate a system that we don't even see or control? I want to say this really quick, Julius, and get your reaction to this. Carlton made a perfect point, and I talk about this now all the time. We exist in a system created by white Anglo-Saxon and Protestant males where we don't have an opportunity to even participate equally. We are in a system where the criminal justice system, the political system, the everyday life system is not in our advantage. So how do we maneuver and compete in a system that even is not even built for us? For God's sakes, you had how many white presidents versus one? I mean, one African American. So I think the question is, how do we even participate in a system or systems that aren't even created for us to begin with in the beginning?
Well, I mean, we have to. You compete by being united. A divided people can't beat anybody. The only way that you're going to be able to compete doing anything is with unity. If take a football game for instance last night. BC team united. They beat them 48-0.
Beat the brakes off them.
Jenkins team, the guys playing on their own. Everybody doing what they want to do. How you gonna beat the United team? You're gonna continue to just run around in circles until you understand that you're not winning. You might be winning individually, but your team is not winning. Mm-hmm. You might get looks from the scouts because you perform, but how do you make the whole team perform better? How do you become the Michael Jordan of your people? So we don't know.
So you say that, and then Bernard just remove the system out of our mind and focus on us. So let's look at the idea of segregation, right? Was segregation a benefit to all the communities, but most importantly, was segregation a benefit to the Black community?
I think, Robert, I asked you this question a while ago, and it's a question I always like to ask people to see where their mindset is asked. When we created, when the Supreme Court decided on the decision of Plessy versus Ferguson, which was the separate but equal clause, to say that schools could no longer be separate but equal, but they had to be equal. How do you really? The question is, do you feel like we as a people would have been farther along if we had stayed separate? Because when we were separated, we were coming up with all the inventions from the indoor toilet, the elevator, indoor plumbing, because I don't like to go out the door, and I think whoever invented that, indoor plumbing. All of these great inventions came out when we were separate but equal. So do you really feel like separate but equal was really a thing that really was beneficial to us, or was it a problem?
Bernard, what's your thoughts on that?
Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all looking good? How you doing? Y'all know how I feel about
it. One on my shirt.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
I got that from Rocking My Via, The Rock. All right, go ahead, bro.
Y'all know how I feel when it comes to the system, and when it comes to back in the days. The only system that we need to be worrying about now, y'all, to be honest, is our Black system. You know what I'm saying? We need to come together as one. I'm tired of people always bringing up the system. The system is not the one tell you to pay your light bill. The system is not the one got these young kids, Black kids, not all of them, killing each other. The system ain't say put your gun in there and go rob somebody. The system ain't say go and rob the grocery store or take care of your family. The system ain't say none of that. You know what I'm saying? The system is us. I'm tired of always saying, the system did this and the system did that. It is 2023, okay? And if you 35 years old and you ain't got your life together, it's a problem. It's a problem, Okay, then we got these young kids, and I said it on a few minutes ago, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like I always am. I tell my daughters, every last one of them, I got 6 of them, and you know what I tell them? Be independent and stay away from these little young guys, because they're gonna take you down a road you don't want to go down. Not all of them, young fella, some of them. And so with me, let's forget about the system in my head. Let's forget about that for now. Let's talk about what we're gonna do right now. Like you said, remember in November, what we gonna change right now, RG? What you gonna change? You running for District 5th? What you gonna change to get out of our head to say, let's leave the system alone and let's take care of ourselves?
Well, I'm interested you say that. I saw a TikTok, y'all, and it's interesting how they had, if you all don't know the thing with Africa, and I'll shout out to Africa for uniting, but they had one white hand pushing an African black male with a gun this way. They had another white hand pushing the other African American male with a gun this way with one hand. The other hand of both were grabbing resources. That's what's going on, y'all. That's what's going on. While we're distracted by the fights at the football games, while we're distracted by Donald Trump and his idiocracy, while we're distracted by Ronald DeSantis, we are losing our communities. We are watching our black politicians get money under the table. We are watching our elderly and our seniors have their property taken in Hilton Head, for example. We are watching the black folk who think they made it because they got $1.50 more than the next person think that these issues are not going to impact them, but they are. And so, you know, I think I understand what you're saying, but we have to ignore the system. But what's happening, we have these invisible structures around us that are telling our black folk, you know what? Y'all fight each other while we go ahead and take what y'all got. It's how slavery happened. You know what I'm saying? It's how Bayview and Clearview and all them getting cleared out. Matter of fact, it's how this particular councilwoman and mayor have sold out our communities. And so how do we do that differently? How do we turn the role? We put people in place that don't need handouts from people like Greg Parker. We put people in place who understand the real issues. As a matter of fact, Bernard, I was walking the streets in Favre Park, and I met a young lady who told me, I called just to get some help and get some resources. And that lady told me, was so rude to me and hung up in my face. I was actually with a family the other day, and the young brother, a 19-year-old, y'all, told me, you know, such and such and such and such. So what it tells me is, when you're not putting your ear to the ground, you can't fix things. When you're not in tune with the community, you don't know what's going on. But I can tell you one thing, I'm in tune enough to know that if you're going to pay more property taxes, you're going to get more return on your investment. And that starts from having somebody who's going to be behind closed doors selling you out, but advocating for you. So that's number one. You got to have people, and this starts even at the Senate level, like Warnock, and also you got to have people who are going to advocate behind closed doors the right way, and not for their pocket.
You're getting like Charlie Brown. You almost stopped, and then you kept going. You almost stopped, and you kept going.
Charlie Brown's a good man. You're not going to talk about Charlie Brown now.
But listen, we keep complaining. We know what the issues are.
There you go.
But after we complain, we know what the issues are.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are the solutions?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We give solutions on this platform.
Mm-hmm.
But how many people are willing to make those sacrifices?
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. That's the problem with our community.
Mm-hmm.
They look at us and they say, well, they know what we're doing to them.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever they unite, they'll become too strong for us to overtake. That's why so many things pushing at us from every angle, attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know it's in our DNA to survive.
Mm-hmm.
But until we do become unified, we will always be conquered. And that's what they're doing to us. And we complain all day. And I'm tired of damn complaining.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's get together like Bernard said. Bernard is exactly right. We know what we got to do. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is sacrifice. We
ain't
don't
nobody
want
gonna
to
sacrifice. That's the problem.
nothing at all. We don't want to sacrifice.
That's it right there.
And let me tell you this here. Let me tell you what we're gonna do. You said the right thing, George. A solution. Let me tell you what the solution is. Okay, January the 5th, 2024, our black media gonna rent out the Mercer Theater and used to be Savannah Civic Center, and we're gonna call for all black people to come down here, and everybody gonna have a solution on what we gonna do. We're gonna start it right there. January the 5th, 2024. And we're gonna come up with some solution. Who gonna be there? You be there. Who ain't gonna be there? Shut up.
That's correct.
Carlton, what's your response to that?
That is a great idea, and it's something that we can work on to try to make happen, because it starts with us. It starts with us trusting each other, Carlton, because if we don't trust each other to say, Carlton got $3,000 here, Robert got $3,000, Bernard got $3,000, and Julius got $3,000. We got $12,000 here. Let's see what we can do with our $12,000 as a group of trusting brothers here, that we're going to say we're going to build something that's going to be profitable and create generational wealth. Also, we bring in 4 more guys with $12,000 more. I was just telling somebody, me and Jamal was talking about it the other day. Why can't we get $250,000 out of a group, put it in the bank, tell the bank to lend us $2 million. We buy a tract of land, build 10 houses, make all of them Airbnbs. I mean, it's possible. Port Wentworth, Bloomingdale, Pula, it's land to buy to put these developments out there. I mean, it's gonna cost a little bit more than $2 million, but I'm just saying that is the premise of what I'm saying. Why can't we? You know why? Because they instilled in us that we can't trust each other. Oh shit, Carlton run off with the money. What you got him as? The CFO? Oh no. And then Robert, what Robert gonna do? Him and Bernard, they like to party all the time. They're gonna be over in Jamaica. That's the thought that we're thinking, instead of saying it's changed now, Carlton. It's changed, Bernard. Yeah. Because now we can say we have an attorney in place. We got people watching the CFO, making sure that money there. I check my bank account every day, whether I got something in it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody might put something in it. God might bless me. So we got to be to think business minded. Those days of the past are gone.
Yeah.
When somebody ran away with all the money. Now you got somebody watching the money. Not just one person, 3, 4, 5 people watching the money. You got people in place with all the skill sets to get all these things done. You gonna borrow $2 million. Now have that guy that build houses, have him in our group. Now he can build the houses. Have that plumber there, that electrician there, all of them in this group. They get paid out of this money to put back into the system that we've created. I talk too much. I'll go ahead.
No, you good. You good. Go ahead, little Carlton.
It was the one reason why I always said why I started my organization, because it wasn't the point where I wanted to start at around my age group or older. I wanted to start at like the middle school level, when the mindset really, to me, that's when the mindset truly begins to develop. Because when you start at that age and you work with them as they grow up, you can help them develop the skill sets and the mindsets to want to build and be a better community, versus having them out there learning from. Because not all people who they deal with are looking out for their best interests. A lot of times they look out for their own interests. But to build a mindset so we can become a better people, and they can get the skills. Because the one thing, like I tell people now, I don't advocate for, not that I'm against it, because I do have my 4-year degree, but I'm an advocate now for kids going to trade school, because like the quote by one of my favorite quotes, when they stole slaves from Africa, they didn't steal slaves from Africa. They stole architects, they stole builders, they stole mathematicians, stuff like that. They took skilled people to come over here. They didn't want just laborers. They wanted the skilled people from over there. So to get back to that point where we are our own community, I'm all for it. It just requires to start somewhere. You just got to pick a point and start and stick to it.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Carlton, because now if you all look at Africa, people mad with Putin and Russia, but Putin basically pulled them to the table and said, I want y'all to see how resourceful you are on your own. And so now France is mad at Africa. I'm going to tell you right now, the United States is about to be close to, if not a third world country. We're not about to leverage the things we used to leverage because we were leveraging things off the backs of people like countries in Africa. And so I'm just so proud of the new USA, the United States of Africa, for standing up and realizing who they are. Can we do it here, though?
Yeah. And I agree with you, Carlton. You're right. Trade school. And I'm going to ask you a question. Most ladies, young ladies that I know, as far as my daughter and the rest of them, they went to college, but they came back and went to trade school. And with the trade school, they opening up their own company, their own, and their own buildings because of trade school. So, do you know? I mean, what about the young black men, as far as going that route too?
I'm gonna say like this. Me personally, I did the exact same thing. I got my bachelor's degree first, and then I went back to trade school. But the one thing that I wish I had learned years ago was that to go to trade school first and then go to college. Mm-hmm. For the simple reason, all the funding that I got while I was going to get my bachelor's degree, once I got my bachelor's degree, it got cut off. Mm-hmm. They had the issue with giving me the public funding to go back to get my trade once I got the bachelor's degree. And I was like, had I known that, I would have did it the opposite way around. Because they would have gave me money to continue to get all these trades. And then I could have went and got a bachelor's degree and messed that up.
Yeah. And I always tell people, just young people, and I ain't trying to take over, but I'm gonna say young people, go and get your LLC.
Yes.
When you open up a company, you gonna get a business license, you're gonna get funds, you can buy you a truck, house, or whatever company and put it on your LLC. Young kids, young black kids, I don't care what the other race doing. I'm saying young black kids, and tell you right now, it's a beautiful thing. Believe that.
That's it.
You're right.
Bernard,
you absolutely get 4 versus being somebody who's employed. You get about 8 deductions a year. When you own a business, you get about 400 plus.
Hello.
So it truly is a benefit.
That's it. And another thing, Bernard, you made me think when you said that. Well, we've got to start. Here's another solution, and I invite everybody to do this. We learn from everybody. From whatever age there is, or whatever background. You can learn from the janitor just as much as you can learn from the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. I had a young brother out there the other day who was doing my yard. I guess he was 19, 20 years old. And I was wondering why I couldn't get this piece of equipment working that I bought and, all this stuff off of Amazon. He said, this is what you did wrong. A 20-year-old. I'm 45. So we got to realize that you can learn from the most educated person, but you can learn from a person in the streets who've been, we all have a different background. And that's another thing we're not willing to do all the time. It's that sometimes you can't always be the leader. You got to sit back and let somebody else, handle that because they got more skill set. Carlton knows this. Anytime I'll be like, oh, you more skilled than that. I'm gonna follow you. But we got to do more of that because nobody knows everything.
Yes, you're right. And they say, oh, you got to have an 800 credit score. No, if you got 620, you can get anything you want. Trust me, you can get right in that door. 620 in the LLC, you believe me, hey, they giving it to you. And that's what the people don't understand is that I always say, man, hell with the white people, this and all that. What I'm saying is, if you know the system, just like Donald Trump knows the system and he got himself in the, the system, believe me, hey, you can get anything you want, period.
Let's never forget back in the day, we used to get the crackheads to work on our car better than the mechanic at the dealership.
And still do that.
Well, right. And they'll move your whole apartment for $50. You good.
Hey, trust me. It end up $120 to get an LLC application. You went for $120, and boy, when you see all the stuff coming in, man, you're gonna have about 500 Ks in your bank account.
Look, Bernard, you get a lot of tolls for that.
I got a lot of tolls, trust me. And open up a script club. LLC.
But you know what, Carlton? I'm glad you said that. That's another thing, Julius and Carlton and Bernard, in our community, that sometimes you know, we getting, and I'll use the black church and families and our well-to-do families. We got to stop being ashamed of the pieces of our community that are just there. The crackheads, right? The LGBTQ community, the people that we don't always feel like are contributing, but they contribute. Hell, where else you gonna get somebody to move your stuff for $50? Who else you gonna get to work on your car for $5? Man, please, we better start valuing all aspects of our community, from those who may not be the most profitable, whatever you want to call them, to those who got the most money. That's how you work together. Forget the fact that they do these things. That's on them. They ain't out here hurting nobody, though, are they? But we don't see nothing about when we white boys go out there and kill everybody in these grocery stores and stuff. All right. So our people ain't that bad. We just gotta live with what we got.
Yeah. And you know what they're afraid of too? Let me tell you what they're afraid of right now. They're afraid of our black media network because we giving them information. Now, you know we're going to get slack because white folks don't like us giving information about the LLC and all the other stuff, Jews, y'all. So now, if people watching this show, I guarantee you go run to the business license and go get one and see what happens. See how your money will grow.
Well, we addressing white privilege, but we also have to address one other thing that is a detriment to our community also. There's nothing wrong with understanding that you've arrived, that you've made it, that you achieved this because of your hard work. But we have elitism in the black community also. Those blacks who think they're better than all of us. And that's a problem also. They don't give nothing. Mm-hmm. They don't give back to anybody. I don't know, in the magazine, I think Shantae did a article on the richest blacks here in this city. And there's some rich blacks. There's one dealership that's black owned that own 5 dealerships. But we don't see them giving out anything. But I heard they recently came out doing some turkeys or something. But let's give some scholarships. Let's show people who you all are. Don't hide that you're a black enterprise. Let everybody know so they can spend their money with you.
Yeah.
They got 5 dealerships, 4 in this area and 1 up north. And you got Carver State Bank. What are they doing? Who are they lending money to? I have never heard anybody say they got any money out of Carver State Bank.
Yeah.
Anybody got their mortgage out of Carver State?
I ain't know Carver State. They're a black bank.
Yeah.
Not being funny, but I ain't know.
Yeah.
Some people ain't never gonna get along.
Yeah.
Well, it's strange, We just got to call those people out also, the boulets.
Yeah.
They don't call themselves bougie, they the boulets.
Yeah.
What it is they scary to me. But they're taking and sucking in all of it because of their inclusion and they've been let in the door. And so they closed the door behind them. They didn't bring and say, hey, come on, Julius, come on, come on, Bernard. They ain't said that. They closed the door so that they can get it all. And now that they've made it and they're in position to get the trickle down, the trickle down stops at them. They don't trickle it any further. And that's just a problem in the black community all over the country. Ain't just Savannah. Yeah, that's everywhere almost.
Yeah.
That the money needs to be spread out. You need to lend. If Carver State, what are they there for? What are they there for if they can't lend us money to start businesses? What are they there for if they can't give us the opportunities? I can go to Truist and Truist give it to me. Why Carver State can't? I can go to Wells Fargo. I got 4 accounts at Wells Fargo. I got 5 or 6 at Truist.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Why can't they give it to me?
Yeah.
Why can't they give me the same money that why can't Carver State give me the same money that these banks are giving me? They taking a chance. They're looking at my credit rating. They're looking and saying, okay, you got this. You got this. We'll give you this. Carver State, you can't even online bank with them, I don't think. What are you here for? I'm
Yeah,
not even just
like you just said. They got let in the door, and since they got let in the door, they feel like, oh, if I let too many people in the door, they're gonna kick me out the door. Because I genuinely, now that you made that comment about the black-owned dealership, I know exactly who you're talking with. And I had an occurrence with them maybe like a couple of weeks ago where I wasn't in an accident, but somebody I know was in an accident with one of their vehicles. And when the police came, he felt a very sense of entitlement of the fact that people were ignoring him, considering the fact that you were the cause of the accident. And he had a whole issue with people were ignoring him and wasn't treating him like he was. So it's just the fact that once they get to a certain point, they feel like they're better than everybody else. And I got let in the door. I work hard to get in the door. They stay where they at, not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. So they just don't want to let go of the little bit of piece of what they think they got go, which it ain't much to be honest.
But yeah. Why haven't you done a commercial yet? I'll talk. Go ahead.
Huh? I'll say, why haven't you done a commercial yet?
Yeah.
He's coming. But y'all, I talk about this all the time. And but now I want to go back to your thing with council. The one thing I talk about a lot, and I need to talk more about is, we look at Charleston and we look at Atlanta. Okay, Charleston has been totally gentrified. No black folk live in the middle part of the city has been pushed out. Atlanta, Maynard Jackson and Andrew Young created prosperity for the black community. And that's not to say other communities don't eat, but they've been eating. We ain't been eating at all. Mm-hmm. And so if you look at what Maynard and Andrew did, that council under their leadership created black millionaires. And what that did was position our communities to be able to leverage everything without going outside of our culture. That's what we're going to build here. We're going to get contractors with to build these new buildings. We're going to get, and if you don't have, and this is my thing, if you're not a black contractor, I want to make sure, well, let's say this. Every contract needs to have a black contractor considered. Every contract needs to have a black vendor considered. If not, and we can't get there because of whatever licenses or certifications, if you're hired as a contractor, you better darn well have subcontractors that's working with you that look like us. Because it's time out for making these legacy contractors. That makes no sense. There's no wealth being poured into our communities. And we got carpenters, plumbers, people that will have trades that are equally as talented, if not more talented than the ones we've been seeing, point blank period. So we're going to change the trajectory on that conversation right there. And number two, we're going to start pouring more and more resources into these nonprofits that's going to support our young black males. It makes no sense, and young black sisters, it makes no sense that we put $14 million in the construction and benefit of tourism, but our young children are killing each other, dying, and going to the jail. I want y'all to go on Facebook. They show you every day who goes to jail. Why is it disproportionately 10-1 black children or black people going to jail? That's a problem. And we're going to change that conversation.
Yeah. Welcome to the criminal legal system, not the criminal justice system, the criminal legal system, where we are not innocent until proven guilty. We are guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
But also that comment you made earlier about the contracts with the system, I don't like that comment. The one thing that I want you to change in the aspect of, there are capable black people that we see where they're maybe an inch away from getting the contract, I don't want them to be disqualified because somebody else already has it. I want it to be where there is an inclusionary into their contract where we still have the standby person saying, hey, you may not have all of this right now, but we can look at this real quick and see how close you are. And if you're super close to where you are to getting it, then we're going to help you get this so you can get this contract.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with what you say too, RG. I'm a prime product of Andrew Young in Atlanta, Georgia. Trust me. I left him 40 years ago. I came back smart as hell. And that's because of the Andrew Young product. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? Believe me, I wasn't always smart, y'all. I'm smart now, though. You can't fool me now. And hey, trust me, Savannah, Georgia, y'all ain't gonna get rid of me. I'm gonna raise so much hell until it's time to change. And the young men on this show is right behind me 110%. So, look, Punky, I call him Punky. Punky Van Johnson, dude, go back to New York because we coming.
We'll be right back after commercial, y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what?
How are you?
I like that name, Punky.
What's that?
Punky.
Explain how you got to that name. On sidebar, how did you get that name?
No.
I want to know. The people want to know.
No.
Go ahead, Bernard.
No.
I mean,
He'll
What
get
you say?
How you get that name?
How you got that name?
Yeah, the sidebar.
Hey, this ain't a rated X show. Trust. Hey,
Yeah,
I say this here.
Yeah, he said tonight on
America
America
After Dark.
After Dark.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of sidebar. I got a feeling of why he got the name, but we gonna go.
Oh!
God no.
You continue on.
Oh, y'all know I ain't a
Yeah.
I overthink sometimes. Most of the time.
We gonna move on and say about with the white privilege about gatekeeping, because we as a community tend to know a lot, but we don't share a lot. And like, I was having a conversation with Robert the other day about the fact of like in Savannah they have this thing like when the residents become over the age of 70, they can file the paperwork where they won't have to pay their property taxes anymore. And he was telling me about it. I was like, you didn't know about that? I was like, I knew about that a while ago. And he was like, no. I was like, well, simple stuff like that, it can save a lot of people who, especially a lot of older people with fixed incomes, and they done reached a certain point where they can't afford to do this no more. Imagine the relief that somebody who's 70 years old, fixed income, and they don't want to work anymore, but they have the money to just sit at home, the house paid for, cars paid for, stuff like that, and it's probably takes to kill them. But that's a great instance of something that a lot of people should know about that they really don't.
Yeah.
And you know what? We need to invite Sonia Jackson. She is the best tax commissioner I've ever seen in my life. She educates people on that. As a matter of fact, to go a step further, Carlton, any person that is considered a senior and disabled, regardless of their age, if you're not able to work because of disability, like my mom, you can get rid of all of your property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why didn't we know this exemption years ago? So I'm out to apply for her exemption. So she won't have to pay any more property taxes. Look at that. But again, like you said, we don't get that information because we have people. I think our last tax commissioner, Julius, was in office, almost 30 years? Yeah. But now that we have someone like Sonia Jackson, who's doing a fabulous job. She gets 20 A+ on her green card. She has done a fabulous job. I have seen her presentation. She takes the time, y'all, brings her equipment to meetings to make sure that she is serving the people. That is going above and beyond. And so she gets a major check because she, like you just said, I didn't even know this stuff until I saw her presentation. I was like, wow, why don't we know this stuff?
Well, and she does do a great job. She's awesome. She's brought the tax commission office into the 20th century, or the 21st century. It was in the 18th century. And that's what happens when you have adequate people still doing the job for so long. And when she took over, she brought innovation into the office, and she's making it accessible to everybody. And that's what good leaders do. Good leaders lead. Good leaders don't worry about how it affects them. They worry about how it affects everybody else. You're put there to lead the people. You're put there to have some type of leadership skills where it's not just about you being selfish for yourself. And a lot of people, when they get in office, they think it's all about me, when it's supposed to be about we, all of us. And so that's what we need to hold these. We need to hold all these elected officials accountable. That's just all that it is. Yeah,
you're right. And I want to say, man, thank you with me and Jules. Y'all see our jackets? Man, it look, man, that's a Wolverine for you, boy. Look at us, man.
We always shopping together. Well, they got that thing off of Amazon discount.
Hey,
That's right.
I got mine for Goodwill. Don't get Amazon this
credit. Listen, dude, why you playing? Man, and shout out, man. I'm sorry, y'all. If you ever in Atlanta, you better go to Goodwill. Man, that Goodwill in Buckhead, man, look at here. I shop all the time.
Hey, I get 6 suits from Goodwill and get 2 free. Trust me. That's why I look so good. Goodwill.
But listen, you ain't lying about Goodwill. You just got to pick the correct Goodwill. You pick the correct Goodwill, right. You go clean up real good.
You go clean up. Yeah, trust me. But you're right, Jules. Let's go back, Jules, when you say about, black folks think they're better than other black folks when they make it. And that's the problem. And that's the problem. You know, if you wake up in the morning and you say, hey, I want to be a leader, go back to sleep. Because if you ain't got the leadership already in you, you ain't gonna be no leader. Okay. Yeah. So I think, and I'm, you know, I take an opportunity always to throw rocks at this young man. You know, this young man woke up and decided he want to be a leader from New York City. And that's why the Savannah got a problem right now. You know, don't wake up and say, I want to be a leader. If it's not in you, it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with that. I say great leaders are made. They're not born. Because somebody can, like you say, you can wake up every day and say that you want to be a good leader, but if you don't have the people around you, the team, like you say, because one person can't do it. It truly takes a village of great people behind you to create a great enterprise and make something great. So without people steadily around you saying, hey, you wrong, you got to have somebody that's going to tell you flat out right, you is dead wrong for what you're doing.
Yeah. And
when you ain't got that, it don't feel like you on a God level, and you start to develop that God-like complex.
Yeah. And if I may add to that, I will agree to that. I think in my youth, I was a terrible child. My mom used to beat the hell out of me. I kid y'all not. Y'all think she's sweet now if you want to. She used to drag me around this house. But I will say this: it was people like Richard Mole and my daddy and Crawford Bryan, my uncle, and Clifford Hodrick. It was people like that you watch and you're like, oh my God, these guys are doing things, and how in the world are they doing them, right? W.W. Law is another one. But then, like you say, you grow up and you become 30 and 40 years old, and like Carlton said, I am one who loves criticism. All of y'all on here cuss me out, tell me to get my SHIT together, and I love it. Because if you're not willing to take that feedback, you're not willing to grow. And if you're not willing to grow, you can't lead. Because you don't know everything, and guess what? You're going to make mistakes. But you need people to say, get up, but you also need people to say, tighten your behind up.
Yeah.
And you need people that look like you, that's not scared to go behind across the room and say, all right now. And I think what you say, Carlton, is exactly right. Now, if you can't take all of that and understand what that means, and you're in trouble.
Yeah. Hey, Jules, put up Miss Betty comment again. She right on point. There you go. Leaders should have compassion for people. Yeah. There it is. That's all you got to say right there. Yeah. Right.
I also added something I stated earlier. But that the fact that when you are a leader, you can't just have people who are your age around you. You got to have the older people to give you the wisdom that was bestowed upon them, but you also got to have a connection to the younger people to know what's coming up, the stuff that you aren't necessary, that you might not be interested in, but the stuff that they're interested in, because it keeps them in an interest in you.
Man, I'm gonna put you one-on-one. You got an interview with me, man, one-on-one. I'm telling you, Drew, he gonna be the American After Dark one-on-one interview, boy. Carlton Carter.
He's gonna do good on it too.
You gonna be after your mama, Keisha Carter, okay?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That might be your cousin for real.
Yeah. Well, Robert, we gonna touch the other subjects, or what are we gonna do?
Go for it. What you got?
I mean, we could save some until we could save the Fannie Willis until we could save Fannie until Tuesday, so we can see how that is brewing. But it does need to be addressed, because we all have to get up and stand behind this sister, because it is important that we understand what is going on in this country, and especially in your own state. You have to be able to stand up for something, or you can't wait until it hits your front door and then the knee is on your neck and you can't get any relief. We have to be able to stand up and fight together. Let's touch it briefly, because this is my point. I want to know what y'all think. Anytime that you are running an investigation, like Trump is under investigation now, and anytime that you are running an investigation and somebody interferes with it, you ought to be able to lock them up for interfering in a legal criminal investigation. Now, what do y'all think? Now, I don't know whether y'all saw it, but you have a state senator in the state of Georgia that has introduced a memorandum to hold an executive a special emergency session so they can impeach Fani Willis so that she cannot indict Trump. My thought is he's directly interfering, so she should have him locked up. My thought is that he should be locked up today because he's trying to do a coup all over again. This woman has been elected by the people. She's administering justice, and you're trying to stop her because you think that Donald Trump is not guilty. Let him go through the process. Donald Trump is his own worst nightmare. He made these things happen to himself. He didn't have to make those illegal phone calls. It shows the divide in this country when you have people like that who can't see that the law has been broken. You're going to let Donald Trump walk, and everybody around him is dying. Everybody around him is falling and being ruined. Their lives are no more good because of Donald Trump. And then you want to give him a pass. My thing is to each one of y'all, what do you think she should do? I would immediately arrest anybody that is even bringing this up.
It's not even about Donald Trump. It's about the fact that this is a white person, and how dare you all reprimand a white person. But even further, as a white male, I get to do these things because of who I am. Now, if Fani would have sat back and let it ride, it would have been no problem, right? But let's look at it this way. Let's say we have a state senator down here, former state. Let's just say Derek Mallow did the same thing. They had his behind in a jail yesterday, right? So, you know, what kills me is the fact that Barack Obama wore a tan suit on Easter and y'all about had a baby. But this man damn near, excuse my language, almost had people killed. Almost had Mike Pence hung. And you got, because he a white man, oh, that's fine. We ain't no problem. But
people did die. People did die that day, Robert. Several people died.
People died, but Mike Pence almost got hung. We forget the fact that there were people, lives who were in danger and gone, and yet we supposed to give this white man a pass. That's because that's been the norm for 400 years, right? Okay. So where was the pass for George Floyd? Right? He didn't even do anything. But yet he died that day because a white man wanted to put a knee on his neck. What I'm saying is this: we have allowed this privilege to go on for so long that it has become a normal piece of fabric in the community. And if Donald Trump gets away with this, then every black person that's incarcerated for a nonviolent crime should be released. And if we don't get behind that, then we're idiots.
Any of y'all want to go before I respond?
I totally agree with you, man. That guy should be arrested tomorrow. And Donald Trump should be out of everybody's life pretty soon. But this would piss me off. In the state of Georgia, if you on the grand jury, and the grand jury that's the one, you know, say he committed a crime, you're allowed to have the grand jury names and address. Names and address. What kind of mess that is? They was talking. It was like on the show the other day. You get the name of the grand jury and their address. So now you got to get protection for these people. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to get protection for Fani. You have to. Ain't no if about it. This woman need to beef up security because it's some crazy devil, Ku Klux Klan, white people out there. Trust me. Go try to harm this person. Period. And if they don't beef up security on this lady, it's a shame.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Avin says the emergency session of the state legislature will never get out of the starting gate. Well, he claims to have 3/5 of the House and 3/5 of the Senate already ready to vote to impeach her. So he has done his polling, and it's up to the governor to call the emergency session. The governor is a witness in this trial, so it might never. He'll be impeding justice also. But this state senator should be arrested so he can see.
Yeah.
Let him cry all he wants.
Yeah.
Justice, the long arm of the justice usually prevails. Let him cry. If everybody else to be held to those standards, then so should he. This state senator, I'm calling for his arrest. This state senator should be arrested for trying to impede justice. There's no reason for him to try to call that or to even interfere in this process. Let Donald Trump go to trial. If he's found not guilty, fine. The jury of his peers found him not guilty. If he's found guilty, then fine. He got what he was supposed to get. Either way, everything's fine. Go through the process. You cannot have it. And Robert, I don't think it's just because this is a white man. I don't think that.
Really?
I'm gonna say I disagree, because I'm gonna say if anybody remembers back to when they didn't want to certify the Georgia election and the two state representatives for Georgia went into Kemp's office, they were both arrested on site for trying to talk to the governor, and they had the right. So if they can arrest them on site, then they got to arrest him on site. She has the power. Yeah. But if you actually watched the press conference the other day, that lady is terrified right now. She has bodyguards. She has beefed up security for her and her family, because they already know what it entails with her giving the announcement about that indictment. So it's not even about that. But Robert is right. It's whiteness that's on trial right now, and they can't absolutely stand it.
That's all. Let me tell y'all why. Let me tell y'all why it ain't that. It ain't. Donald Trump is supposed to be the sacrificial goat for the country. Believe that. Donald Trump going to sit in a jail cell somewhere. I've been telling y'all this for 3 years now. Donald Trump will go to jail. I've been telling y'all this. Nobody believed me, but y'all didn't even think it was going to get this far. I told you there's two forces on this earth that scare me: God and the federal government. They are bad. Those people don't play. And when they come after you, they are usually correct. They have a 99% conviction rate. Donald Trump can't escape what's coming at him. And so what I'm saying is, I don't believe that Fannie Willis is terrified. I think she's bold and ready for whatever's coming. I don't think she got a scary bone in her body, because if she was scared, she wouldn't have never did it. The reason I say that this is not about this is about more than just a white person, because this is about privilege and elitism that Donald Trump think he's entitled to. They have a leader now that espouses what they're thinking, and that's Donald Trump. So that's more of what it is. If this was Tim Scott doing the same thing that Donald Trump is doing, they would be behind Tim Scott.
I doubt it.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would.
Look at Florida. Look at Florida. You got black Republicans in Florida saying, Ron DeSantis, what are you doing? Ron DeSantis is telling them to kiss my ass. That's what black Republicans told him. It's an article. I got to find an article. I'll send y'all there. Black Republicans are saying, hey, even Tim Scott said, hey, Ron, you're going too far. And Ron said, y'all kiss my, you know what? I have not seen any black Republicans tell Ron DeSantis anything.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, hey, look at Tim Scott moving up. Tim Scott done raised $24 million second behind Donald Trump, even though, you know, that part is just all messed up anyway. But he raised $24 million already. Yeah. I don't think they're gonna go that way, but he's second to none to that other fool.
Yeah, it's class. This is class.
Yeah,
all Tim Scott can hold, y'all.
This ain't just about race. This is about class.
All Donald Trump will ever be is secretary. Period.
They're fit to show Donald Trump that he is to be held to the law, and they need to go ahead and just do what they need to do to him before he's still out here warming up the pot. Before the pot get too hot for us to touch,
I tell you what,
they need to go ahead and
Watch
get
this,
him and do what they need to do to him so that he can understand. And believe me, once they do it to him, ain't gonna be no uprising.
Well, watch this. Didn't that judge tell him to keep his mouth closed? And he out here still talking. Is he in jail yet? Okay, that's a perfect example. No, the judge ain't gonna do that to him. The judge got the power to put him in jail, right?
He's skirting the line. Anybody else would be in jail.
If the judge said, "Be quiet," and y'all go out here and keep talking, guess what's gonna happen?
Robert,
come on in.
Robert, let me tell you why you're wrong on this. Because you know how many other white men the judge told to shut up and they kept talking? They all went to jail. They all went to jail.
But he wasn't.
Robert, they all went to jail. All those other white guys went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So this ain't about nobody being white. This is about class.
I disagree.
Robert, if it was about them being white, they'd have let all other white guys go. What are you talking about?
Y'all don't think they're gonna be out soon?
They'll be out
Look
soon.
at COVID. Y'all,
So this is about class.
You mean to tell me all them guys got out because it was COVID? And y'all believe that?
What guys? You know what I mean? Black
All
guys.
his former attorney, his former chief of staff, all them folk got out there because it was COVID.
Oh no, they got out of jail because they wrote them.
Go ahead.
They got out of jail because they wrote them statements on him. They said, "We'll let you out of jail as long as you agree to testify and you give wholehearted truth. And if we find out anything is a lie that you told us, you're going back."
But let me talk about Kemp. I'm gonna tell you, Kemp's litmus test is going to be this, because Kemp is going to run against Ossoff because it's going to be perfect with his when he ends the governor. If Kemp realizes that there are a lot of Trump supporters still in Georgia, that's going to prevent him from winning that Senate, he'll back off. But if he feels like he's still got a lot of Trump supporters, he's got to cater to win that Senate seat in a couple of years, Kemp gonna approve that special session. It depends on that Senate race.
Kemp will not do it because he don't want to go down as doing such a terrible job of interfering with something like this. Like he said, with 100 something indictments, it's not just here. That's statewide. It don't matter what they do. It's too many places that he's being held accountable for him to interfere and say that he wants to go to a higher Senate seat and think people are going to take him seriously.
Right.
I hear you, but he's the mastermind of changing the conversation.
No,
it won't be about that. It'll be about making sure we get Fannie Lewis. How do you think he beat Stacey Abrams? It wasn't because she was just terrible.
Stacey Abrams was a terrible candidate because she was.
But I agree.
Wasn't fit for the position.
But if it depends on Kemp being in that Senate seat, he will do it.
RG, let me tell you this, RG. First of all, you giving Kemp too much credit. At the end of the day, Kemp, listen, RG. Can you let us talk, RG?
I think you're wrong already.
RG, can you get outside and go run and knock on some doors?
I already did it. Next.
Go run and knock on some doors, RG. Hey, Kemp, trust me. Kemp gonna do exactly what he's doing right now. He quiet. He ain't saying anything. He don't want no heat coming back on him. And you talking about that's one of the reasons why he be. Listen, that lady did a terrible job. She got too big for herself. She wanted to be more Hollywood than anything. That's why she lost. Period.
Exactly.
Period. No pun intended.
No, right. So Kemp not interfering in none of this. Trust me. Like you were saying, when the Fed come knocking on your door, they already got you. So ain't no sense you lying.
But you say ain't no talking. Ain't no talking.
None whatsoever. So Kemp sitting back there on 2428 Peachtree Drive where the governor's office at, and he ain't saying nothing. Period. You know?
No, I mess with y'all. I see your point. I'm just messing with y'all. I love having fun because I ain't seen
it's about class. It's all about class, and that's what it's about right now. It's class. We need to make sure that if we got out and vote, we could put those people in place who gonna make those decisions. See, that was one of the things that when we talk on the Rabble, and I tell y'all all the time, don't encourage people to start a third party.
Right.
Don't encourage people to vote the other ways just to prove something to the Democrats. You got to stay with the one you got until you can get another one that's better.
Mm-hmm.
So don't encourage people to sit something out or to show the Democrats something. Let me tell you why. Because when you do that, you might be showing the Democrats something that you want to show them. But the Republicans, once they're in there, they get to load the court. That affects your life more than anything. So they load the courts up. While you around here wanting to show off. While you around here wanting to stay home. While you think it's too cold to go vote. While you think it's too rainy or too wet out there for you to go out. Or the line too long. You comfortable. Don't tell nobody to stay home. Tell people to go vote. Take somebody with you. Go stand in those lines. Hell, I stood in one for 40 minutes the last time I voted. It's about knowing that you have something that you're fighting for. Don't be lazy. Don't become complacent. Don't get too comfortable. You got to go out and make a difference. That's the only way it's going to change.
Yeah. And what's so thing about that too is you got to realize too, you got kids watching us. You whatever a kid see you do, they gonna do. If the kids see you not going to vote, they ain't gonna vote.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always say, like you say, like Alicia said, remember in November, if we want to change, man, you got to vote. You got to. And so you're gonna have a conscience like, I'd rather feel good to go vote and lose than don't go vote and you still lose.
That's right.
I agree with what you said. Like I tell everybody, the reason why I do what I do, and why I continue to do what I do is because I know that I have little people that look at me and they see what I do and they see how I act. So I know that I have to carry myself in a way that's going to be beneficial for them, so they can be like, oh, he did this, I'm going to do this. Because the one thing like they love to tell me, oh, I want to be like you. I want to be like you. I tell them all the time, I say, I do not want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me. I want you to do more and achieve more, see more things than I ever saw.
You're right. You're right. And I'm gonna give you a compliment on the watchdog. Everything come out your mouth is right on, bro. I don't think I ever met you before. I think I seen you on, but you is right on. I think you can change the world. You can change Savannah, Georgia, because you have a young voice that young people is looking for. You keep doing what you're doing, and I guarantee you, young fella, those young kids gonna follow you.
Oh, I think that made my little Saturday.
Yeah. The thing is, we have to be the example that everybody is watching. Those younger people that's younger than Carlton, younger than Robert, younger than us. Because if we are together, unified, nobody can stop us. I tell people, you cannot stop a force that's that just won't get out the way. Us together, we are a phenomenal force. But us apart, we cannot get as much done and we cannot move as much as we think that we can. But together, we are a force to be reckoned with. And it's all about all of us. You get more done with a group of people than just by yourself. So, and that's what it's all about. You're right, absolutely correct, Bernard. We need more voices like Carlton. We need to make sure that we're all on the same page, fighting for the right things and fighting for the right people. Because if we put the wrong people in there, like the last election showed us, those people will betray us and do opposite of what they promise, and you know, we have broken promises. So we got to recruit the right people to become a part of this movement.
You're right, and you can't be afraid. You cannot be afraid to tell it like it is. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about it, kids know fate when they see it. If I sit on this show and I don't say nothing and I'm like, you know, being political correct, they probably think I'm on something. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're great.
You got to keep it real, man. I'm telling you, man. And if you don't, man, you gonna find yourself in a lot of trouble. If you don't like Pookie, you don't like Pookie. Tell it like it is.
You gotta think about that.
If you don't like Pookie,
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But now, what irritates me with our community is the whisper and the chatter. Have enough courage to pull somebody aside and correct them. I mean, you know, you do that all the time, and you know, it might sting. It's like a sword, it might sting, but go ahead and do it. I mean, because you're bettering that person. And everybody needs to be poured into, but we got to take the time to do more of that. And like you said, with folk being fake, you ain't helping nobody. You ain't helping nobody.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say it. Just right in your face. Go ahead.
Now let me say something, y'all. I was talking to the young lady, right? And I know she don't mind if I put it out. So I was talking to the young lady, right? So this guy, you know, he's a pookie. So he said, you need to stop. Don't listen to Bernard, because we grew up together. You're like, don't listen to Bernard. No, he's not. Don't listen to Bernard. Okay, you know how Bernard is. He always had a lie about when he was little, and he still do. I said, okay. And she said, well, Bernard telling the truth about Pookie. So what? He said, yeah. Okay. All right now. Y'all gonna make me open up a can of worm up in here. Everybody, hey, I'm like this. I run and tell that. If you got something in your closet and I know about it, I'm gonna tell it.
We say you about to show that lingerie off.
He like Charlie Brown. He's like a bad refrigerator. You can't keep nothing.
I ain't keeping it. Hey, I guarantee you, if I say what I say, the race is over. It won't even be no race.
Hey, slide it my way. It
won't even be no race.
And don't forget, we're going to be the owner, Jerry Cummins of Hot 2100 in Atlanta.
Cool.
He's going to be taking our podcast out and turning it into taking our shows and turning it into podcasts and probably breaking them down. And it'll be the voice. We'll be going over the radio waves to 50,000 people that listen to them on Hot 2100 and V105, the Vibe. These are the two radio stations there. You can download hot2100.com, www.hot2100.com. Play some great music. I was listening to it on my way from Jacksonville this morning. But download that hot2100.com and just put your name in there and who told you, Our Black Media, Julius Hall, whoever name you want to put in there that referred you to it. Listen to the music there. Become it's free. Become a listener, and we're going to be doing some collaborations with them, with cross promotions and everything else. And we got some real great things coming. A talent show like The Voice and like American Idol. We'll be doing that here in Savannah and in Atlanta in the next coming weeks to months. So y'all stand by for that also. So don't forget hot2100.com. hot2100.com. Make sure y'all get that. We'll be making some commercials and stuff to put up for them after a while also. So when we go to commercial break, we'll have that commercial for their station and for our collaboration and the things that we're doing. All right.
And Julius, make sure y'all tune into the morning show. My tattoo artist and one of my former students who is actually on that network. So y'all tune in.
What's the show called?
What is the name of Kickstart Morning Show? So that's, if you need a good tattoo artist, our good morning show is the Kickstart Morning Show on Hot 2100.
Okay, and what's his name?
Torian Veal.
All right, y'all make sure y'all
when I was at Georgia State.
Tune in, y'all. Make sure y'all tune in, and we got some great things coming down the pipe. Jerry is a little bit like what we're doing. He isn't concerned about money because he knows that will come if he's successful. So it's about all of us being on the same page and coming together to get things done. Amen. Our voice can reach a whole lot more people. You're not always appreciated in your community, in your home. You're not always appreciated. But when you step outside that, this man invited us to Atlanta and interviewed us on both stations. Me and Dr. Torre, we went there and we are going back in a couple of in about a week or so. And Bernard, I need to take you up there. You be there with me.
Right, Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna go tour the station and everything. Robert already saw it. We're gonna go tour and see how we can do a further collaboration and get our message out, because what he's doing is he loves what we're doing. We love what he's doing. So we just need to cross promote and network.
Yeah. You're right, man. Sometimes I was talking to Jules, I don't mean to put our business out, but I was talking to him and I told Jules, I was like, man, I said, I'm burned out, man. I said, I want to go back and go sit on my deck and smoke my cigars and forget about this. I said, man, I just feel like coaching. And Jules say, you know what? He say, you got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? You can't get burned out. It's a vision that we have, and we have to keep doing it. You see, even though it look like, you get tired, but you keep going. And that's the only reason why I'm putting it, because he told me that. It's like, hey, you need somebody to refocus you and say, you know what, you're absolutely right. Because I'm a selfish person, man. I'm selfish because I want to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Smoke, cigar, drink, natural light, and go to strip clubs. You know?
You had me.
But if I may add to that, people, and I want to say this because people don't hear this enough. That's why Alicia and Bernetta and Keisha perform the way they do. When I mean perform is, y'all think everything's supposed to be nicely wrapped, right? Mm-hmm. Inside of the gift, it's pretty. But the wrapping don't always be nice. Mm-hmm. And those ladies, when you have seen and I've been behind the scenes with them, and I've been in meetings with them where you see the foolishness, you would be angry too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You would be furious if you knew really what was going on behind the curtain. But what makes you even more angry is when you know that it's people that look like you that's aiding and abetting in the foolishness. And it's people like our Black singers and our Black young people are being hurt and taken out of the conversation. It's things like our Black neighborhoods that are about to be sold to developers because warehouses need to be built. And when you realize that, and people like WTLC and all them pulling the wool over your eyes and y'all believe in it, but yet y'all will let Purdy call Keisha a ghetto Black bitch and you okay with it, you get angry. So I get what you're saying, Bernard. Mm-hmm. You get tired of that, and you get tired of trying to convince people that this is really the truth, but they want to tell you, oh, maybe it's not. No, it's true.
Yeah.
Let me say it like this. As far as like WTOC, the first place I go in the morning when I wake up to get my news is Facebook. Because if it's something local happening and they want the WTNS reported, them Facebook reporters gonna tell you. But secondly, beyond that, to get my world news, I've been going to TikTok, because TikTok be telling me stuff that our local media and CNN, MSNBC, what's the other one? The Fox News people, we don't like them, but the Fox News people out there, they would never discuss on the news and air it out. And I'd be like, I didn't even know nothing about this. Then you go to try and reference it on them, and you'll never see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's that article that they had up? I can't remember where it said van something, and then we don't need the drama or something we shared on Facebook. Yeah, and I want to say this here. I'd rather have somebody with drama and go get and that right there. Yes, I'd rather have somebody with the drama bringing the truth. You think like you said, RG, you think these ladies running around and want to start drama? No, they in the inside. And they bring it on the outside to us. And that's why they want those three ladies to hush. That's why they want to remove those three ladies, because the wood is coming up. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say it, and who don't like it, I don't care. The brown paper bag that they giving out, not the brown paper bag we used to take, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Is the brown paper bag they're getting is all green butter, and all of them got numbers on it. Remember that in November, y'all. Remember that.
Yes, sir.
That's right. I mean, and it irks me with our communities, especially, and I'm gonna be real, especially the one I live in, is that you got those who think they're high and mighty because you got 1 or 2 or 3 degrees that you one step removed from those in another Black community. No, you're in the same boat, baby. And right around the corner, they are taking the people's land. And I swear to God, y'all, I was in a community meeting for this neighborhood, and I was talking about Buckhalter Road. But if you go look on WSAV and the morning news, or if you Google Buckhalter Road, you'll see what's happening. But you know what I had somebody say in my community meeting? Well, is that really going on? Well, it's right around the corner from me. And then catch this, and somebody gonna get mad, and I don't care. Somebody actually said they go to the meetings for the fairgrounds to see how it's gonna impact Tatumville and Fowler Park, because I know it ain't gonna happen. Not gonna happen over here. What y'all think? Liberty City, the 5th district by itself? I'm just saying. It got to be said, because we got to. That's when we don't stick together. And if it doesn't just impact, if it only impacts Tatumville and Fowler Park, it impacts all of us. That's what we were talking about today, that disconnection. If it's just going to impact Can Park and Bingville, it impacts all of us, because they are our people too.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know who said it earlier, but the point is made. It's like stuff like what we're doing here today, our Black Media Network, giving our people the information that they need and keeping them connected, because a lot of the times the information that they get is not always the whole truth. So they trying to, like you say, they trying to dissociate this area from that area. They keep confusion going on, because they be like, oh, we're not a part of that. Yes, you are. You just don't realize it, because you aren't informed. Like I used to tell people, I drive school bus. So the one aspect of what I have to pay attention to all the time is the Board of Education meetings. If I don't stay informed about what they're doing, I know it's something they're going to say that's going to affect me. You may not they may not always feel like it, but I know that I go to the rest of them may not go. I'll go and they be like, oh, what happened? I say, you could have went just like I went, but I'm gonna tell you because I want you to stay informed, and I did go, and I'm gonna break it down in a way that you may not understand it, but I will tell you. I don't gatekeep. I try my hardest not to gatekeep information. And a lot of times that's why they always used to send me. And I hate it. And I hate the fact of it. But it's the fact that they'll be saying something that certain people may not understand, but I understand, and I break it down in a way for the people that I know don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's
right.
what we need. That type of advocacy from all of us. One of the things that we don't have, and Bernard was a big advocate for it when he first moved back, was where are the Black men? Why we always got these sisters up there, and the Black men are hiding somewhere and not doing what they need to do and advocating like they need to advocate. So we just got to become a powerful force. We got to stop bickering and wanting to. I get in a lot of groups. I'm in a lot of meetings. And I watch. I don't like to talk too much unless I'm called on, because I say so much on all these platforms. I'm tired of talking, but I'm ready to see some action. When they call on me, I'm talking about what are we going to do? Let's get to solutions. I'm tired of just meeting to meet. Let's talk about solutions. Let's see if we can. I don't care if we put $5 together. Let's put it together. Our money is more powerful together than it is apart. So let's see what we can do. Our brains and our networking is more powerful together than it is apart. So that's why we have to be able to unify so that we can do more with our resources.
Yeah. And one thing about it too, y'all, is that, let me explain something to y'all. Our Black media just don't be saying things. We do our research. Everything that's come out of here has already been researched and done deal. Two prime example. When I first got here in November, and I probably started acting fool in December. Two things that melted me down was Stillwood Tower in the elevator and speed bumps in the Black community. I raised so much hell. Stillwood Tower getting new elevators, and guess what they put in Cloverdale, y'all? They got speed bumps in Cloverdale. They just got done with it. And I know what's happening. Remember in November, that's the only reason why. When it get close to election time, the speed bump was so high in Cloverdale that I came through, it raised the truck. Boop. I was like, man. And the what's so crazy is the two speed bumps that they put in Cloverdale was in the white neighborhood on 52nd Street, just like that. Because I said, they got white speed bumping in the white neighborhood. Now they coming in Cloverdale. So RG, you need to get your butt and work.
How you think the front of Liberty City got paid?
Why? Huh?
How you think the front of Liberty City got paid? That was me raising that conversation. But she out here taping it.
Yeah.
Baby, go tell her. That was me raising that conversation. Y'all
It's been like that for years, and
right.
It just got done. It's been like that for years. Now she want to take credit for it. You had 3 years.
Y'all gonna run and tell her that.
Yeah. You can't even turn in that lane. You had to go around it and turn.
Yeah.
Now it's big.
Yeah. She gonna take credit for those speed bumps in Cloverdale. I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I want to say something out there.
And that was Keisha and Alicia. So let's be real.
But that same statement, what you just made about being paid, I was just talking to one of the bus monitors on the bus, and she was talking about that same aspect of she staying in Liberty City, and she had a street that they needed to be repaid. She said that she called her current alderman to get it, and she would not return her phone calls. She ignored her and ignored her and ignored her. It was to the point where she said she had to call. She called the mayor's office and talked to them. Once she called the mayor's office, they did it in like a week.
Y'all see the street in Liberty City?
It took a week.
That's been 6 months like that. Guess who's gonna get it done between me and Rashida? So when that woman out here telling y'all what she did for 4,360 days, she did nothing but make sure that fish was fried. Period.
And on that note, it's time to go.
Mic check.
I know.
It's time to go.
Drop the mic.
Hey, man. All right, we got time for us. Y'all want to say something real quick, and then we got to close out.
Man, I want everybody to vote for RG for the 5th district. Alicia, Keisha, Bernetta, man, these folks, man, they working their butt off for y'all black folks, man. Y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to drink some coffee and wake up and see who really behind y'all. And definitely our black media CEO, Juice Hall, brought this to the light. Charlie Brown, trust me, man, y'all need to get behind us because we ain't going nowhere. And this young man, Mr. Carter, your name Mr. Carter now.
I told him people.
Hey, young fella, you keep doing what you're doing, man. You motivate me to keep on cussing.
And I gotta say this about Bernard. Bernard, he was like, I don't know if I'm I said, get your behind on these shows. You got a lot to offer.
Yeah, you do. Very articulate and well informed.
Yeah.
So we appreciate your input, Carlton, and we hope other people are watching that want to get involved. We know that we have some soldiers out there that watches every day. Ivan Cohen, he's part of this. He don't like to get on here on this too, but he's part of this. So let's all make it happen. What do you say, Bernard?
I got one more thing. Carlton, everybody in America, I'm gonna offer you a job. You are the new co-host of America After Dark with Bernard Brown. And that's flat out. You are my co-host.
Good job.
Trust me. All right? You got that. So
your Saturdays are now taken.
That's it. Take it over.
Saturday at 10 o'clock. Y'all can watch that tonight. Saturday at 10 o'clock tonight is already been done. So, so
doing it.
Saturday at 10 o'clock tonight, y'all. But don't forget, 6 o'clock, Pastor Smalls on Tell It Like It Is, 6 o'clock, Unity Political Action Committee at 6 o'clock. 10 o'clock, America After Dark on this network. Don't forget. All right? All right. Everybody, all hearts and minds are clear?
Yeah. Great show. Great show.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
Good job, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah.
See y'all.
like this. I like this.